You're correct, Leanne. It's fascinating on so many levels, and we'll try to get through all of these conversations as we go through this broadcast today. You know, South Africa is described as a developing country, and any conversation about development now includes in it technological development and advances in the AI space, and that's what the Department of Science and Technology is doing today in partnership with the University of Johannesburg. They're launching this massive printer. You know, when you speak of a printer, you never imagine it would be taller than you, but you can see behind me this massive contraption is the construction printer that is being launched today. And our cameraman Temba is just going to pan to his left and show you already an example of what has been achieved here. It's called the Next Frontier in Building in South Africa, a sustainable building. We're going to be talking to different people, different stakeholders in this project from the University of Johannesburg and also from the department. But for now, let's bring in Refilwe Lidikga. He's the technical lead for research at SMACT. SMACT is the UJ department that's running with this project. It's called Sustainable Materials and Construction Technologies. And we're also joined by Eugene who's in the architecture department. Gentlemen, quite an exciting project. How did you start work on this, Refilwe?
Good morning, Desiree. So this work commenced a couple of years ago, with the mandate of seeing how we can introduce robotic systems and, into the built environment, especially within the housing sector, and see how the technology can assist in looking or addressing the backlog, the housing backlog within the industry.
We understand that we're solving a problem here, but let's just bring in Eugene on the architecture side. Yeah. Just take us through the motions and the planning and the thoughts that went through the decision to go ahead with this project.
Well, I think for architects, we're always looking for innovation in architecture. We're looking for how can we advance space making. So when this project came up, it was easy to join the team. I think it's important to have a collaborative effort. And this technology is phenomenal. I mean, it gives us so many new opportunities in making shapes, forms, all kinds of interesting things that was previously not possible.
Whenever we speak about technological advancements and artificial intelligence specifically, it's usually about technologies that have been imported from other countries. Just what is the genesis of this particular printer? Is it a fully fledged South African project, or are there international partners?
Yeah, so for this one, we partnered with a company called SABC, who basically provided the technology. And so we're collaborating on them with this particular project. But of course, in the future, the plan is to, find local suppliers and manufacturers, to advance the technology and for construction of other projects going forward. So.
And I imagine a South African viewer watching now thinking, it's all exciting, but your name SMACT speaks to sustainability. How sustainable is it, and how do you test that?
Well, I think, the construction sector has a very large impact and it needs to transform. And I think that for us, innovating and using technology like this will give us an opportunity to improve things. And from our research thus far, we're starting to see really positive signs of improvement. So yes, I think the technology can help us have a more sustainable future.
So it's got multiple impacts on the academic side, on the solving a problem of housing side. Just what is the end game with SMACT?
So the end game, first of all, is to show the advancements that we've made from a forward point of view within the housing sector, right? And we hope that in our partnership with GSI and other stakeholders that we'll have an opportunity to take this to the ground, right, and see if it's viable on the ground. And please bear in mind that we've also done extensive research, on the ground level to ensure that, there's social acceptability and so forth. So the end game is to really implement this on the ground and ensure that we contribute to the housing backlog.
Let's speak, Eugene, about the printer itself, because on the one hand, it's where we're solving the problem and creating the housing. On the other hand, it's the technology itself.
Yes.
Just speak us through this technology.
Okay. There's a thing called additive manufacturing. It's basically just by adding layers of material, you can build stuff, 3D things. And in this case, we have a robotic arm, which has a pipe connected to it, which will take any material you want and push it through the nozzle over here and deposit the layers one by one. It's exciting because this is a big machine, but I think even for kids, you get small 3D printers, it's the same concept. And I think they can already start to make things, even toys now, but hopefully in the future they can be the ones who make the architecture.
How has this contributed to academic rigor at UJ?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of postgraduate students that are doing research on this. So, for example, I'm doing research on the use of artificial intelligence and how we could leverage it for 3D concrete printing. There are other students that are looking at waste, biomass, and so forth. So there are a lot of units or research papers that are becoming out of UJ for the benefit, of course, of the country regarding 3D concrete printing.
Yeah. And of course, a very exciting development here, a partnership between the Department of Science and Technology and the University of Johannesburg. And today we might just be talking about construction, but artificial intelligence, a global conversation in different aspects of our life. And we will continue to unpack this conversation throughout Morning Live and the agenda, and later on Point on SABC News.